Hey, spiritual superstars. So, I've been thinking about this. The number one thing that I can say I try to instill in my children and in anyone that I'm coaching is this lesson that keeps coming up over and over and over again in every cycle of my life. And I see it and I hear it in my mentors, people that I admire, and people that may not even know it's happening in their life, but I can see it happening. And now one thing that I really recommend everybody do is so super important. I promise you that if you do avoid this one thing, that you will reach more goals and you will manifest more of your dreams than if you didn't pay attention to it. That one thing is stay focused on your target. Don't let anything remove you from reaching that goal. Obstacles are going to come. You are going to be swayed. You are going to be encouraged to move in another direction. The shiny ball syndrome is going to hit you, and you're going to want to go chase this other thing, that this dream looks good on someone else kind of a thing, or someone's making a lot of money doing something else that you really you care less about. But because it seems like they're thriving doing that thing or in that industry, you go and do it too. Be careful about that. Always stay focused on your goal. Chase your dream, because your dream was gifted to you from our higher power. And that dream doesn't exist with anybody else. It exists within you. You see it in your mind's eye. And I can tell you that throughout the years, I have always wanted to use my spiritual gifts to help other people. And I have always wanted to share spiritual guidance. I didn't know what it was called. I didn't know. I knew that I could heal my human, and I knew I didn't have to live a life dependent upon synthetic medication and even use marijuana, because I really didn't want to, because it still helped me. It made me stay really foggy, and it caused me to sleep more than I wanted to, so it pulled me out of life. Well, I'm very active, and I wanted to be aware and really absorb and use all my senses. But marijuana, if I was using that to avoid the pain that I was feeling in my joints and my muscles, I had to take a more mellow approach to life. When I'm instantly excitable. That's my energy. So it made me feel out of myself, and it lowered my defenses, and that I didn't like. I didn't like that feeling at all. So it didn't allow me to feel all of my passion. You know what I mean? So anyway, I became a different person. It worked for what I used it for, right? But my point is, focus on your goal, because the obstacles, the quick fixes, the different things that come to you are absolutely not supposed to overcome you. Don't be defeated by them, use them. So the next time your friends hit it big doing something you totally hate, okay? Admit that you hate it and use the qualities that maybe they use to get their win, because you own those qualities too. You might need to just strengthen those within yourself. I also knew I wanted to teach. I thought that, okay, going back to school to be a teacher was it, until Spirit was saying, don't you dare declare your major, because I've got you teaching all of humanity. I need you to serve the masses and teach spiritual guidance and how to heal their human like you did and like you've lived. And I'm like, what? I thought it was to go back to a school, and teach as a teacher. And I'm talking about seeing that. I totally still saw my vision of teaching, But the way that my human was planning for it to happen, okay, the way my human was planning. I ain't say the way I was supposed to be planning with God and the way that we were working together. We're co-creating. My human was like planning, okay, this is how we're going to do it. So I'm going to be a teacher. My children, I'm going to try to go get a position in their school, and we all going to be in there, and I'm going to be able to micromanage, micro teach, so I could keep them teachers on their toes about my kids and everything. And I'm going to do great. My mom was a retired principal. I'm following in her footsteps. She's my spiritual teacher. I'm doing that right. Spirit was like, I told you. I just said, I want you to serve the masses. I want you to teach spiritual guidance. I want you to teach what you know. And I want you to teach how to heal your human like you did. So I'm like, okay. So I couldn't declare my major. Because Spirit was like, if I have to slap you one more time, I was like, okay, I don't want to get slapped no more. I'm listening. So I had to go back in and follow my own spiritual guidance. So X amount of years later, I have taken that National Board medical exam. We'll see what happens. And I know that I'm feeling optimistic about it, in order to reach that goal. So when you have your eyes set on that target, know that you're going to go around the bend, and you're going to pause, and all these obstacles are going to come. Just stay on that target, no matter what. You're going to, for example, if your goal is to save $500, maybe your goal is to stop eating sweets so that you can lose 10 pounds. And the people around you are totally like, I'm not stopping. I'm eating what I want to eat. Or they're like, well, come go here. It's only $20, but you know that $20 adds up, and it's going to take away from the $500 you're trying to save for whatever you have as a goal. You got to stay true to you. So there comes the standards. What standard do you have for yourself? What standard of living? Is that sacrifice worth the end goal? What is your end game? So just stay attached to that goal. I always knew that goal was spiritual, and it was health and wellness related. However, I didn't always stay focused on it. You can tell the way I talk. I'm all over the place. And Mercury is retrograde, so I'm even more all over the place right now. And that's my ruling planet. Okay? So these things are going to happen. The transits are going to screw you all up, and you're going to make decisions you regret. It's okay to say you regret it. Just learn from it, and then take that lesson and claim it as your blessing and use it. Teach it to other people that are willing to listen. Yep. What are your thoughts about that? What have you noticed that, you're years in, that you maybe feel like, had you followed it, had you stayed on that target, you would have reached your goal by now? No, I think we all feel that in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And I think it's okay to admit that, because what we see is this linear line towards success, and that's totally not it. Success is like all off the screen, over here, up there, down there, all doing all of this. It's doing this. It's never a steady path like that, So enjoy your life, live, love hard, and forgive yourself. Oh my gosh, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for real. And keep going. And don't let anybody else steal your joy. Stay on that path. But it's like I said, God gave it to you. You're co-creating with Divine Source. It might take a little longer, than someone else that you see. But their shiny ball is their shiny ball. So don't get that shiny ball syndrome. And yours is coming. Just know that when you see a win in someone you're connected to, then that means God is in your neighborhood too. And so that win is coming. So be prepared for that knock on your door too. I love y'all. I'll see you soon.